is refracted, comes through the monetary union and the European Union. These are institutional mechanisms of globalized financialized capitalism. Therefore, for us, fighting against modern capitalism involves fighting against monetary union and European Union. It's part of the broader struggle. But these two things are not the same. They are not of the same intensity and they're not of the same seriousness, as I will explain in a minute. Although, increasingly, the monetary union has become the backbone of the European Union. It happens. That is what money does. When you bring in a common money, that's what happens. How to tackle then globalized, financialized capitalism by fighting against the institutions of Europe? We've got to be very clear, and we are in this audience, but other people are not, that it is nonsense to think of democratization, and it is nonsense to think of fighting from within the European Union. Disobedience from within the European Union is nonsense. It's impossible. Okay, so we're very clear about that. That is not possible. But why? Why do people listen to this argument? And that is very important for us. I have nothing in here that would allow me to tackle that directly. People think that it is possible to fight from within because they are very scared of nationalism. That is what happens in Europe. You talk to people about fighting against the European Union, and immediately they will tell you, does this mean that we will go back to national competition, national hostility, nationalism? We must tackle that. That is the big fear that we must confront. How do we do that? I hear some people like my good friend Yanis Varoufakis talking about Karl Marx. Karl Marx and what he said about the unity of the working class and so on. That's very good. Karl Marx is very useful there. But for us, more useful in this, on this issue is the debate between Lenin and Luxemburg. Lenin and Luxemburg before the First World War. The question then was what to do about the Austro-Hungarian Empire and about the Tsarist Russian Empire. How to fight. Do you keep it all together or do you break it up? It was a big debate and both sides hit elements of truth and strength about them. But in the end, Lenin prevailed and Lenin was right. And Lenin's argument very simply was, sometimes you've got to separate in order to unite.
Bravo.
That's the most important thing here. Sometimes you've got to separate in order to bring together. Keeping people together, formally, institutionally, when they don't belong together, is a recipe for fighting, a recipe for national hostility. This holds in Europe.
Bravo.
We must find ways of dividing, separating in order to unite. And that's how we will fight nationalism. What does this mean in practice? I don't have very much time. I'll be quick. No to the monetary union, of course. Get out of the euro, of course. This is an action that is actually immediate, and that's what you've got to understand. Any government of the left, any government in power will have to take action to take the country out of the euro on Monday morning if it is elected on Sunday. You have no option because otherwise Mario Draghi will turn the tap off. And if Mario Draghi turns the tap off, there is no politics, there's no economics, there's nothing because you don't have liquidity. So you've got to take action on Monday morning. New currency, new money, new liquidity.
Bravo.
Monetary sovereignty is absolutely necessary. The European Union is not the same, and Britain has shown that. The British people have voted out Brexit. Nothing happened. You understand? Nothing happened so far. The economy is doing better because the pound has come down. Things will happen, of course. There will be negotiation, new treaties. But for the moment, nothing happened. If you vote to get out of the monetary union, lots of things will happen on Monday morning. It's not the same. Therefore, when you prepare to get out of the European Union, when you discuss conditions about the European Union, you've got time, you can organize, you can plan how you're going to act about it. You can find new arrangements and new relations that are in favor of working people as you do that. Now, how do we position ourselves in this context? For me, those who understand the situation in Europe have got three tasks in front of them. The first and paramount task is a concrete proposal of exit, how to exit, a concrete proposal of exit from the monetary union, and second, a concrete proposal related to exit on how to restructure the economy, how to begin to create growth and income, and how to bring the economies of Europe together, how to control capital flows, how to control foreign exchange, how to control investment across Europe in order to prevent national conflict across Europe. This proposal must be concrete and it must be sound. People don't listen anymore to words. You understand? You've got to be sound. It's got to be data-based, evidence-based, and it's got to be persuasive. Otherwise, no one will listen to you. We can discuss it among ourselves, congratulate each other. Very good ideas. You try and tell ordinary people about how you will do it, they listen to you very carefully, and they don't believe in you. You must have a good proposal. That's the first thing. The second thing you need, related to that, is a new narrative. The left must learn to speak in a different language. People don't listen to us. We need a new narrative. We need a new way of communicating to people what kind of society we want and what kind of Europe we want. People want some kind of Europe. There is such a thing as a commonality of perception. Not a European character, not a European identity, not a European people, but there is a commonality. We must find a new narrative. A narrative from a socialist perspective, from an anti-capitalist perspective. We don't have it. And third, and related to that, we need a united front. We need a united front of all the forces that are fighting against contemporary, financialized, oligarchic capitalism in Europe and elsewhere. This united front will not be created easily. It will take time. There are many efforts, many initiatives across Europe right now. We need to be acting as a unifying force, not a dividing force. We need to find what brings us together, and we need to charge together to deliver what we need, which is the transformation of each country and the transformation of Europe. I believe it's possible. I believe we can do it, but for that we will need to work very hard in the near future. Thank you.